Hi everybody! Now, this story is a fun story. It makes me chuckle. It's very strange, but if you listened to this with your grown-ups, you'll be able to ask them some of these questions in this story. It's called The Naughty Boy, and it's by Hans Christian Andersen again. He's the writer from Copenhagen. And I think it's quite funny, and it's really old fashioned and I really like it. So listen, it might be a bit cheeky as well. We'll see. So anyway, we might have a shout out at the end, so keep listening if you're the person getting the shout out. It could be a naughty boy. It might be a good boy. Let's see. There was once an old poet, a very good old poet. One evening, as he sat at home, there was a dreadfully bad weather outside. The rain streamed down, but the old poet sat comfortably by his stove, where the fire was burning and the roasting apples were hissing. There won't be a dry thread left on the poor people who are out there in this weather, he said, for he was a good old poet. Oh, open to me. I'm cold and quite wet, said a little child outside. And it cried and it knocked at the door, while the rain streamed down and the wind made all the casements rattle. You poor little creature, said the poet. And he went to open the door. There stood the little boy. He was quite naked, and the water ran in streams from his long fair curls. He was shivering with cold, and he'd not been let in. He would have perished in the bad weather. Oh no! You poor little creature, said the poet, and took him by the hand. Come to me, and I will warm you. You shall have wine and an apple, for you are a pretty boy. I don't think you should be giving him wine again. And so he was. His eyes sparkled like two bright stars, and though the water ran from his fair curls, they fell in beautiful ringlets. He looked like a little angel. His hand was carrying a lovely bow, and it looked quite spoiled by the wet. All the colours in the beautiful arrows had been blurred together by the rain. So there's a little boy, naked, with a bow and arrow. Okay. The old poet sat down by the stove, took the little boy on his knees, pressed the water out of the long curls, warmed his hands in his own, heated sweet wine for him, and then the boy recovered himself, and his cheeks grew red, and he jumped to the floor and danced around the old poet. Oh, good. Oh, you are a merry boy, said the old poet. What is your name? My name is Cupid, he shouted. Don't you know me? There lies my bow. I shoot with that. You may believe me. See now, the weather is clearing up outside, and the moon shines. But your bow is spoiled, said the old poet. That would be a pity, replied the little boy, and he took the bow and he looked at it. Oh, it's quite dry. It has suffered no damage. The string is quite stiff. I will try it. And then he bent it and laid an arrow across and aimed and shot the good old poet straight through the heart. Do you see now that my bow was not spoiled? Said he, and he laughed out loud and ran away. What a naughty boy to shoot at the old poet in that way, who had let him into his warm room and been so kind to him and given him the best wine and the best apple. The good poet lay upon the floor and wept. He was really shot straight in the heart. Oh, he cried, what a naughty boy this Cupid is. I shall tell that to all good children, that you need to take care and never play with him, for he will do them harm. All good children, girls and boys, to whom he told this, took heed of this naughty Cupid. But still, Cupid tricked them, for he's very cunning. When the students come out from the lectures, he runs at their side with a book under his arm and has a black coat on. They cannot recognise him at all, and then they take his arm and fancy he's a student too. but he thrusts his arrow into their breasts. When the girls are being prepared for confirmation, he's also after them. Yes, he's always following people. He sits in a great chandelier in the theatre and he burns brightly so that people think he's a lamp, but afterwards they see their error. He runs about in the palace garden or on the promenades. Yes, he once shot your father and your mother straight in the heart. You only ask them and you will hear what they say. Oh, he's a bad boy, this Cupid. You must never have anything to do with him. He is after everyone. Only think, once he shot an arrow at your old grandmama. But that was a long time ago. The wound has indeed healed long since, but she will never forget it. Fie on that wicked Cupid. But now you know him, and what a naughty boy he is. Uh-oh! Wow, so you've got to look out for Cupid because he's going to shoot an arrow at you into your heart. That's what it's saying. And he shot your mummy and your daddy, and he shot everybody and all the grown-ups. You'll have to ask them if they can remember being shot by Cupid's arrow. He was a very naughty boy. I wonder if the little boy that I'm going to say hello to right now would shoot people with a bow and arrow. I hope you would not, Forrest. I hope you would not shoot people with a bow and arrow. Would you? Well, if you would, hopefully it would just be a plastic one. Anyway,